Morning. Hey, Dana. All right, so does anyone know what I'm going to be working on today? I just want to see how many people actually looked at the invite. A mini album? I think that's cheating, Deb, because I usually always make mini albums, so that's a really easy one. No, no mixed media. All right, so hey, Cindy. All right, so I'm gonna show you what I'm making, and I'm actually in a really silly mood. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm wearing a polo that has all kinds of little turtles on it. It's my good luck charm today because I'm hoping that this is gonna make me survive the class. Um, hey, Alicia. So when I said that I was making a mini album, I wasn't kidding. I was making a really, really mini album. I mean, it's so mini that I actually have it in the palm of my hands. Can you believe that? All right, so I'm gonna show it to you. So check this out. When I was working on this project, I was just being really silly, and Tracy had sent me a note, and she's like, "Jess, remember, just wanted to remind you that don't worry, it gets bigger than this, but I just wanted to show you where the inspiration came from because I know a lot of times you guys want to know how do I come up with these silly projects, and I just wanted you to see. So Tracy sent me a note. She's like, Jess, just reminding you that you have a class this Monday, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I know what glues I'm going to use because I always use my Helmar's acid-free glue, and I always use my 450, but I had no idea what I was going to make. So this is what happened. I had this punch on my table, and this is literally one of these 1-inch circle punches. And I went ahead and I cut 4 of these little circles, right? So just 4 circles, and I started just folding them up. And this is basically what came out of it. And they're just 4 little circles, and I hope there's not a really bad glare, but they're all kind of folded into each other. And when you open them, they have like this little pocket going in. Can you guys see that okay? And then when you kind of close it like this, it looks like, I don't know, I would say like a carousel, but it really is just a pop-up. And I'll show you the bigger version in a minute. But do you see how there's like these little pockets inside? And I know I've seen this somewhere before. I just don't know where I saw it. But it is a really, really simple and basic concept. And again, you can make them as big or as little as you want, as long as you have 4 circles. That's all you need. So the basic construction is just 4 simple circles. So you see, this was just something that I wanted to show you guys. So you can see that, I mean, as little as this is, all I did was I used my Helmar's 450 to glue it, and that's how it came out. So let me show you the bigger version of it. And it's not much bigger, but it is a little bigger. And so here it is. And I decided that I was going to make this one an Easter theme, right? So can you see? It just has a cute little bunny rabbit on it. I haven't really embellished it. It's just really simple, and it's closed together with this little ribbon right here. I put a really simple sentiment and just a little border. And again, very, very simple embellishments, because keep in mind, the more embellishments you put inside, the wider it's going to open up, and you don't really want that. This is just one of those quick and easy projects that you make. You can put some really fun pictures in it and just give it to a friend or so. Hey, Zini, how are you? So then you go ahead and you simply open up the ribbon like this. And again, remember that the basic construction is just 4 circles. And then when you open it up, it does something like this, right? It pops open. And then inside, you see how these layers kind of collapse and they fold into each other. And then you have something that looks like this. So you see, it's like 4 little dimensional rooms. Actually, that would be a good idea if you wanted to make them into 4 little different rooms, like a little girl house or a doll house, or like a military theme for your boys would be really fun. Some cars, and then all it basically is a bunch of different circles that I cut out, and there's some cutouts here, and then just some little borders that I just glued along the edges, and then you can insert a pocket in there. So you see it has like a little pocket, and the photo can go in there. You can make a dimensional photo. I made these little silly little chicks. I don't know if you can see it very well. I'll show it to you again once I change camera frames. So there's this little chick that looks like it's popping out of a little egg. And this, all I did was I used my Helmar Zap Dots. They're the perfect amount of dimension for this type of project. So if you're going to make one of these, I say absolutely, you know, put dimension in it, but just use your Zap Dots because they really give you the perfect amount and it doesn't make it stick out too much. So you guys can see there is some spaces between here, but it still allows you to close it pretty good. Could you still fold it with quilling? Absolutely. I don't know if quilling is, it's like 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch paper. If you use that size paper, it still has the same amount of dimension as the Zap Dots. So I bet it would work perfectly. And then again, the front, you don't have to go too crazy. But again, this bunny that's on here has a couple of Zap Dots on it also. So really easy to do. Yeah, you can definitely put them inside and outside. So just really, really fun. So you see, again, I'll just open it up. And I don't know, I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, it probably would make a really cute kind of umbrella theme, too, if you wanted to stick some kind of stick here and just have it hold and be an umbrella and just do, like, some really cute, I don't know, sunny day or, like, different, I don't know. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this. But again, it's a very, very simple technique, but you can embellish it as much as you want. A little pony stable, that would be awesome. That would be super, super, duper cute. Again, I'll show you how to do the basic construction, and I'll show you the glues that I use because, again, when I do mini albums, there's 2 glues that I will absolutely only use. It's the only thing that I feel that works. I'm not a tape person, so I'll show you how I put that together. And again, you see how it closes? Then all you got to do is just take your ribbon and don't want my teeth biting, but see? And then just tie it there and it'll close up. Birthday album. I mean, super, super, super easy to do and perfect for anything. And I'm telling you, you can whip these things up in, I don't know, 15 minutes of that. Once you cut out the circles and you cut them into dimensions that you need, it's a super easy project. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. And I'm just going to show you the products that I used. So I mentioned that I use the Zap Dots, and wow, my glare is really bad today. Okay, here we go. So these are the 1/2-inch Zap Dots, and if you guys haven't tried them, they're awesome. They're in squares. They also come in circles, and they also have 1/4-inch Zap Dots, and they come in black and white, and there's also some clear ones. So here goes, these are the 1/4-inch ones. Just a full sheet of them. There's actually 2 sheets in here, and then there's the 1/2-inch ones. And then the other 2 things that I'm going to be using is, this is the Helmar Professional Acid-Free Glue. It's awesome, awesome adhesive. This is the only thing that I will ever use on my mini albums. Like I said, I'm not really a tape person, and I feel that this goes a long, long way, and I like when I make my mini albums that I know that they're going to be secure and my embellishments aren't going to fall off and I'm not going to have any of those issues. I live in Texas and the heat over here is horrible, horrible, on top of the fact that we have an enormous amount of humidity. And I find a lot of the times when I use tapes and just those sticky tapes and the red tapes or what, I don't even know what they're called because I don't use them, then my embellishments and my pages and everything falls off. So when I make my mini albums, I want to make sure that they never fall off. So this works really awesome. And then the other thing that I use is the Helmar 450 Quick Dry Adhesive. This is awesome for any kind of embellishments. It dries really, really quick, and it's super, super clear. So perfect, perfect for those types of things. And like I said, you guys notice that I have these flowers behind me. This is what I use to make my flowers. And you see they have an enormous amount of dimension, and they're just super, super easy to do when you have this product. So definitely a must-have. So I'm just going to look at the chat, make sure that I'm not missing anything. Okay, So I'm sure Tracy is answering most of the questions. So I'm going to go ahead and switch camera views so I can show you the album again really quick, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and switch camera views. Okay, so this looks like it's a little too close, so let me just get my little webcam controller. Okay, so let's close out of that. There we go. Let's just adjust this really quick. Okay, I got some other screen going on here. What is this thing for? I have no idea, but I'm just going to leave it as is. Okay, so let me show you again. If you didn't see it the first time, this was just basically the little mini that I made initially. This is my inspiration. And again, just opened it up. And there it goes, becomes this little pop-up. And I don't know what it's called, the circle pop-up mini album maybe. But then this is what it became. So just a really simple, and again, I use very basic papers in here. There's not a lot of color in them because I want to be able to embellish it and just have these colors be like the framework for my album. So again, it just opens up like this, and you see how these fold like in a mountain. So a mountain's peak, and then you close it like this. Then you just tie your ribbon and close it off, and it's perfect to just have on your table. It's just one of these cute little coffee tables kind of things. And then here goes that little trick that I made, and I just added some zap dots on it to give it some dimension. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So the only thing you basically need to do for this type of project is you're going to need 4 circles, right? Because this is going to be the foundation, and I went ahead and I cut all of the circles the same color. Again, this is only just so that you guys can see it, but you don't have to use the same color. You can use whatever colors you like. This is just simply for technique purpose, and then feel free to just embellish it or make it whatever you want or whatever theme you wish. I don't know exactly what size this is. I don't remember, but let's see if we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's probably a 6-inch circle. So all you have to do for this is you're going to fold it in half, and you'll see how quickly this thing comes together. So we're just going to fold it in half like this. We're going to open it up and then turn it on its side, and again fold it in half. So you see now we have this, right? So we have these 4 little corners, kind of like a pizza cut in 4, right? And then we're just going to go ahead and grab our scissors. So you're going to basically cut one of the lines. Doesn't matter which one you cut. I'm just going to kind of cut the one that's directly in front of me. And if you're a perfectionist, you can use your trimmers or your X-Acto knife. I just find this is a little easier. So then I kind of turn it on its side, and you see that you have this flap going here. You're going to kind of cut about, I would say, almost 3/4 or a little bit more of that, and you're going to leave a little flap hanging. So this is going to be the part that you're going to use to attach this section. So you see I've cut this much off, and now I have this little flap that's remaining here. This is the part, and I'll just show you for the effect right now. This is the part that's going to come together like that. So you see, this is what you're going to use to glue it and make your first panel. Does that make sense to you guys? So I'll open it up again. So you see you're going to keep these 3 sections intact, and then this section you're just going to cut about, I don't even know, probably 6/8 of it, and then just leave this little flap here. The other thing you're going to do, just because it makes it easier, you're just going to cut off a little angle on each of the edges. So we're going to cut that little angle there, and then we're going to cut from this edge all the way to the center. Don't go cutting past the line. So you're basically just cutting 2 little triangle edges off of it. And then you have something that looks like this. And the reason why I did that is because you want to be able to close it off and not have any paper hanging off the sides. And this allows for the papers to fold perfectly. So now you're going to have this, right? So then, since I already have this going, all I'm going to do is, I find that Helmar's 450 Quick Dry Adhesive is the only thing that I can use to make sure that the foundation of my mini albums or my pages are extremely secure. So this is the only thing that I'll use. One of the things that I do like to use is kind of one of these non-stick mats when I'm gluing, because I just don't want to get it all over the place. So I'm just going to put this here, and then I just feel more comfortable about just going to town with my glue. So I'm just going to put some glue along this little flap right here, like this. And there's no real technique to gluing. It's just make sure you put enough that it's going to hold the page in place. And then again, you're just going to kind of fold it up like this. And then now you'll see that once this thing dries, it's actually probably almost already completely dry. It's never going to fall off. And I'm not going to pull on it because I don't want it to break, but it's perfect. So you see that? Now you have your first little pocket. One thing that I failed to do was I didn't fold my peak, but all you have to do is kind of, even if you've decided to do it this way, it'll still work for you. You kind of just going to push on the center like this and then fold. So you saw what I did? I glued it first and then I just pushed on the center like that and fold it. And then just grab your little bone folder and crease. So now you'll be able to close it like that. Looks kind of like a fortune cookie. So does that make sense to you guys? So I'm just going to put this over to the side, and then I'm just going to continue to do the other 3, and I'll keep looking up to see if you guys have any questions or anything along the way. So again, I'm just taking the circle, and this one is 6 inch. The only thing you need to remember is that all circles need to be the same size, so whatever size you choose to cut them in, just make sure you cut 4 of the same size. So again, just folding them in 4. And then we're going to take our scissor and we're going to cut one of the lines all the way to the center. We're going to turn it, and then we're going to cut about 6/8 of the way and leave the little flap. So now we have this little flap right here, and then we're just going to cut a little triangle off here and another one on the inner portion of it. So like that. We'll move that over to the side, and then again I'll just grab my 450 and my bottle is almost empty. I hope it lasts at least through the show. Let's see. Okay, then just close it. I don't know why, but I'm really anal about making sure that my glues are closed every time, so I tend to close them. And you see how this time I kind of tucked the flap on the front side? It doesn't really matter which way you do it. You can do it on the back or on the front. I am going to be covering this up with something, so obviously it's okay for me to do the flap on the front, but if you plan on just leaving it as is, you probably want to put the flap on the back. But again, that's just a personal preference on how you want to do it. So again, you have this pocket, and then we're just going to fold it again like this. So now we have 2 of these, right? So you see, really easy. And then we just have 2 more to go. So I'm just going to kind of feed through this part. So just folding it in 4. Hey Melissa, we're going to cut this line all the way to the center, and then again we're going to cut this part leaving that little flap. Then we'll cut the 2 little triangles out. Then you just kind of cut all the way to that one line there. How big were these? These are 6 inches, but I mean, if you want to go ahead and make your circles 12 inches, because obviously you can get paper that's just 12 inches by 12 inches, by all means, make them as big or as little as you want. This size is actually really good because it's not too big or not too small, but go crazy. I mean, I want to be able to make them bigger. I just happen to have been playing around with these circle cutters that I have. So I think the biggest it probably cut was probably 6 inches. So that's kind of where I landed with it. But I would definitely make it bigger the next time around. And then again, we're just folding it in. And then we're going to crease it. So now we have 3, right? You see? Let me move this over so I can see it. I feel like my workspace looks a lot smaller today. I'm not sure why. I think my camera might be lower than it usually is, but that's okay. At least you guys get the concept. So just folding it in half and then turning it on its side and then folding it in half once again. We'll open it. Cut any one of the lines all the way to the center. Like that, and then we'll flip it and then just cut enough so that there's a tab left over. And I'm sorry if I sound repetitive, but I know we're recording, so just in case anyone misses it, I want to make sure that they know how to follow the steps. And then we're cutting the 2 triangles out again. So you see? And then we'll use our 450 again to just put some adhesion on the little tab. And then we'll fold it in like this. Just put my mat here, kind of press it in. And then we'll just fold it into itself like that. And then crease. Okay, so there we go. So now we have all of our 4 pockets like this. See how easy that was to put together? Now the only thing we need to know now is that we need to make sure that we glue these sections into each other. So we're just going to be gluing 3 sections. It doesn't matter how you start or how you end, but always remember to keep one of the sides open because you want to be able to fold it, right? So all we're going to do is we're going to glue all these and then we're going to end up with something that looks like that. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing. I'll move this over to the side. And again, for this kind of stuff, because I want to make sure that it glues perfectly, again, I like using my Helmar's 450. So I'm just going to put a generous amount of glue along the edges like this. And then I'm just going to adhere it together. So, and then I kind of just fold it now, and then I just kind of crease it. Just, again, this dries really, really quick. I just want to make sure that my glue is evenly distributed. So you see I already have 2 of the pockets going, right? So this is going to be the back wall of it, and these are going to be my inner pockets. This is actually cute, just the 2 pockets. And then I'll keep gluing. So I'm just going to grab this side here, just, again, just put some more adhesive. And this again is just the Helmar's 450. I love how clear it dries. It's just really awesome glue. Like that. And then I'm just going to put it against the next wall. Close it like that. And now we have the 3 pockets. sure I did it okay. So there we go. So now we have 3. And then now we just need to glue one more on here, right? So let's just get this one going. And again, like I said, all I used for this was just regular cardstock. I didn't use anything fancy. It's just, and it just works really well. I know sometimes folks worry whether, you know, your paper is going to warp or get all funky. That doesn't happen. This paper is actually very thin, and I never have any issues with my Helmar 450. That's one of the pluses of using it. I tend to sometimes be economical with the types of papers I use, depending on the type of project. So I want to make sure that my glue doesn't warp my paper, and this as well as the acid-free glue works awesome. So you see, I still have really nice crisp paper. Okay, so now you see I've glued them all together, and I've left these 2 flaps open. So these are going to serve as my front and my back of the book. See? So do you guys have any questions so far? Is Tracy hungry? You can go away and eat, Tracy. So I'm thinking at this point, if you wanted, you probably could have gone ahead and embellished it while it was still a circle and just folded. Probably is easier for some folks to do it that way. I happen to just like doing the assembly first and then embellishing, but I could see how it would be really easy for you to embellish and add the different layers of paper ahead of time to the panels, rather than doing it on the back end. Like I said, I'm left-handed, so I do everything backwards, and I kind of tend to create and then think. Does that make sense? So, isn't that funky, Janet? How it just, I mean, literally, it's just sitting on the table right now, and I don't have to do anything to it. And again, once you put the little ribbon on there, it's perfect. It kind of reminds me of one of those projects we used to do when we were in school. I don't know what they're called, but you know, those 3-dimensional kind of projects, and I'm sure kids could use this. Oh my gosh, it would be super, super cool. And make each of these a different pop-up scene. How fun would that be? I know there's some cards that you can use now, so again, this would be perfect for gluing all of your pop-ups. So you could get really, really creative with this. Yeah, Lisa, you should definitely have. This is a perfect, perfect project for kids. Perfect. Perfect for parties, perfect for little camp themes, perfect for mommy days out. Oh my gosh, it would be so easy. I'm actually, we're participating in the, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm one of the committee chairs for our local Relay for Life, and we'll be making these an inspirational type of mini album for our upcoming Relay for Life. It's going to be one of our kid activities. And so you know I'll have lots of my Helmar 450 and acid-free glue there. Yeah, I participate every single year. It's a big thing for me. My grandmother passed away when I was really young from liver cancer, and ever since that happened, I've been inspired to give back. So as long as I could remember and I could be active, I've tried to be. So the next thing we're going to do is you're going to take another circle, right? And this is going to be basically the section that you're going to use to cover up your panels. And this one you should just make it maybe about 1/4 or about 1/2 inch smaller. Let me see if I can measure it. I'm probably wrong on the fact that I said that the other one was 6 inches. It was probably 8 inches because this one is 7. But again, as long as your main circle is bigger than your panel circles, you'll know that these will fit perfectly. You just want to make sure that these are not the exact same size because they probably will pop out. You want to have that little bit of an edge. So as long, I would say do your inner circles probably at least half an inch or more smaller than your main circles. So for this, all I did is, where's my X-Acto knife? Let's see if I can find this. Okay, I don't know if you guys know, but I always tend to use my X-Acto knife and I cut on my scoreboard. So I'm just cutting at 3.5 straight in the middle, and then again 3.5, so that I can have these two panels like this. And then we'll cut again at 3.5. And I'm just going to take one of these quarters and I'm going to cut this in half. So this one is probably, let's see, 5 inches. And I'm going to cut this one at 2.5. So now we have these two little piece of slices here. And then we'll do the same thing with another color, just kind of a coordinating color. You can go totally crazy with the colors on this project. It's just really fun. So again, cut it at 3.5. We're going to turn it around. And again, the numbers may change for you, but just cut it at the halfway point of whatever your circle is. So you see now we have these two, and then again we're going to cut this at the halfway point, which is the 2.5. And it's really, really as simple as that. So I'll put this over to the side because we no longer are going to need that. And then I'm going to take again my little glue mat. So I just love using this thing. And I've gone ahead and I've pre-cut some of these little fun Easter egg little cutout colors. So we're going to use some of those to put inside our panels. And let's see. I'm just going to grab my distressing because you guys know that I love distressing everything. So even when it's still simple, I have to ink up my edges. So I'm just going to ink these up really quick. And nothing too perfect. I just don't like seeing those white edges on my paper. I know. I don't like white, but I'd rather have brown. I know, it's crazy. It's one of those silly things I do. So just ink that up. You're addicted to distress ink? I know, it's funny because as long as I have a stack of paper, my Helmar adhesives, and probably my distress ink, I could probably do a gazillion things. But if I don't have one or the other of those, it probably wouldn't be fun. And I'm not really big. I mean, I've got a lot of the different colors of these, but I always tend to go toward my vintage photo. I don't know why. It's probably one of those bad habits. So just inking them really quick. Okay, so we'll finish that up later. So now I'm just gonna put this in here so you see why it probably made sense for you probably to decorate it first, but like I said, it's really easy to put on this way as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and glue these panels in here. And I have, believe it or not, Helmar has one of these really cool, they're glue spreaders. You don't have to use them, but I think for this particular purpose, because I'm gluing it after I've assembled, I think that it works amazing. So let me show you what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to use my Helmar acid-free glue, and I love using this for gluing the papers inside because, again, I don't need it to be, you know, that super quick dry because it's not, you know, the assembly. And what I love, I don't know if you guys can tell, but when I put my glue bottle on here, I literally put it as far down as I can. So I'm kind of just moving the bottle on the paper and the glue is kind of just coming out. I find that this works really well for me, and I never get more glue than I ever need. So I put the nozzle that's literally touching the paper. So I'm just kind of just moving it like this. I'm not even squeezing anything. So it's just nicely flowing out, and then I don't have to spread it. It kind of evenly spreads, and I technically am using the tip as my spreader right now. Do you see that? Did you lose moderation again, Tracy? Let's see. Okay, this is the last time I'm moderating you. You lose it again, no more mod for you. So then I'm just going to go ahead and take it, and I'm going to put it in here. And you can very easily use your hands to put it down. But this is when I find that because I've gone ahead and I've reassembled it, that I find that the spreader actually helps me. And it actually just helps me to put the paper down rather than spreading the glue. I'm kind of just securing all of the edges so that I don't have anything lifting up. And once the glue dries, you'll see that this paper is not going anywhere. So there goes that first one. Then I'm going to go ahead and glue the other side, and then we'll go ahead and put our other two and kind of do a little bit of decorating. So again, like I said, I just put the tip right on to the paper, and I kind of just in swirls move it around. And again, I'm not really squeezing the bottle, it's kind of just coming out in a really nice even distribution. And I'm just using the tip to evenly spread it out. So like I said, you don't need the spreader for this. The tip of the bottle works perfectly. And you see it even goes to the very perfect edges, so really, really cool. And again, I'm just going to close this like this. And then I'll go ahead and put it here. Okay, you see how I went ahead and I kind of put glue where I shouldn't have, like on the edges? No big deal. This dries perfectly clear. You're not going to have any of those funky kind of, I don't know, marks left over. So I don't worry if I get a little bit of extra glue in some places. Not a big deal. It's going to dry perfectly clear, and it's not even going to make a difference. So it's kind of more of like a matte. It's not really shiny when it dries, so it just blends in. So now you see we have one of our panels has the two inner colors, right? And now I'm just going to grab two pieces of paper. I'm going to put the purple here and then the little eggs there. So you see kind of opposites. And again, like I said, this is just a personal preference. Thanks, Melissa. When I went to use these papers, I was kind of thinking Easter eggs. I don't know why. And they were just really fun and bright and just really whimsical. I thought it would be fun for to put some of the photos from your Easter egg hunts. So that was kind of what I was thinking when I went with this. So I'm glad you like it. So then this layer is just going to go in here. Again, just straight in there. And then I'm just going to use my little spreader just to kind of help me in the corners where I really can't get my hands in. See? And because it's not a super quick dry adhesive, it gives you some leniency. So if you need to adjust your paper and make your borders, you know, sometimes we're a little perfectionist about the way that we put our papers down. You can always mess with it a little bit and adjust as needed. So, and that's just what I did right now. So you see now I have this little corner adhered, and now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to this piece of paper here that has just these cute little Easter egg design on here. And then we'll just put it in here. And there we go. So you see, so now we have our panels all covered, right? And for lack of time, I'm just going to work on this first one. And then you guys know that you kind of pretty much do the same thing to all the other ones. One of the things that I will do is I'm going to put the two front panels so you guys can see what I do to adhere my ribbon. So I'll do that now. So I'm going to go ahead and close it. Then I'm just creasing because now I'm adding layers, so it gets a little bit chunky. So let me just see if I can find my ribbon here somewhere. So let's see. So I have this ribbon that I just had lying around. I'm just going to grab, let's see. two pieces. I'm probably going to cut, I don't know, about 6 inches on each side. Good night. And then we're just going to cut it like this, right? And then what I like to do for my ribbon is I don't use my acid-free glue because I tend to use this mostly for just like photos and paper and anything that's kind of paper-based. I use it for decoupaging. Works really well for that as well. But when I'm using, when I'm trying to glue down my ribbon, I use my Helmar's 450. This works awesome for ribbon. So that's what I use. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some glue on here. And we're just going to put it down. And keep in mind, once this dries, it's not coming out. So, you know, sometimes folks use sticky tapes or any of that other stuff. If you were to pull and tug at this thing, once it has fully dried, it won't be tearing off. And if it tears, it's going to take your paper with it. So, really awesome for securing your mini albums. So then I'll do the other thing, the exact same thing on the other side. And then for this purpose, let's see, you can either just put it right on the page. It doesn't really make a difference because remember you're covering it. So if you go out of the lines or it's not to worry because you're going to cover this with a piece of paper in a minute anyhow. So see, so now I've gone ahead and I've done that. So let's see. So now we have this, right? And then we have these two ribbons here that we're going to use as our closure, right? So you see, it still opens up like this. And then when we get to this point, these are going to be the two ribbons that you're going to use to make sure that this stays open when you want to leave it on display. And then again, the only thing you're going to do on this is you're going to take these two outer pieces and you're going to glue them on here. So we'll go ahead and glue that again with the acid-free glue. And you guys see this is, like I said, this was a quick project. Comes together super easy, and it's just one of those kind of projects that you can do it while you're watching television because it's a lot of repetition, and it's actually a good way if you guys haven't worked on mini albums and you're kind of excited about getting started but you're afraid because you think, you know, some folks out there just really go to town and do a lot of extra embellishing and really do some fun stuff. But if you're afraid, this is a good way to start because, again, there's a lot of repetition. You can use a lot of the same papers for your layering and just have a lot of fun with it. So, and because you're not adding a lot of dimension, you can keep it kind of nice and simple. So you see there I've gone ahead and I put the front, and now I'll go ahead and put the back. Let me see. Just trying to keep up with the chat. It's going by really fast. Did you buy a circle cutter? Yeah, that was kind of, I had this tool that I was using and I had never really used it before, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to use this thing. And that's kind of what made me use the bigger circle cutter. Like I said, when I started it, it was, for those of you who didn't see it and joined a little later, this is kind of what my inspiration was this tiny little one, which I used the 4 1-inch circle punches. But like I said, you can do just about any size and it'll work perfectly. So we'll take this back panel again, which I just used my acid-free glue on, and just place it down. And just use your spreader to kind of just secure the edges like that. And then look, this is all dry already, so you literally can just tie it and be ready to give it away already because it's not going to be pulling off. Because that's how awesome the Helmar 450 is. So you see I've already tied it and all of the pages are secure and ready to go. So And there we go. So we have a few more minutes, so I'll go ahead and I'll kind of just add a few more of the embellishments that I did so you guys can see just what my crazy brain was thinking when I was making this. One of the things that I thought was really fun, because like I said, you want to add dimension, you want to add details in it, but you don't want to make it too big, because again, it is you want it to be able to close, right? So one of the things that I thought would be fun was just to use any kind of border punch, but what I did was I left about, let's say, what is this, about ½ an inch or maybe 3/4 of an inch of a white space on here. You don't have to do that, but the reason why I did that is because I figured you can stamp a sentiment on here and then kind of use this as your pocket. So right, if you put it on here and just glue along the edges, right, you'll leave an inside pocket, right, so you can tuck in a photo or tuck in a tag or tuck in something just really fun. I don't know, you know, a little piece of a photo of one of your kids' favorite candies during the holidays. Just put it in there, and then just put a sweet little sentiment on here because you have that extra little space on there. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. So what I do now is I go ahead and I take my my acid-free glue to use to glue on my border. So all I do is I'm going to go ahead and just put a little thin line along the outer edge, and then along the bottom, and then along this edge. So I'm kind of just leaving this space open because I want it to remain as a pocket, right? And I'm not much of a cutter, so I go ahead and I glue it first and then I cut. Again, that's another personal preference. I tend to do my mini albums as I go. I'm not very much of a planner, so I find that if I do it this way, then I know I always have enough border punch, and I don't have to worry about, oh my goodness, I cut it too small or I cut it too big. Yeah, you can totally use a grass theme and have it look like grass. That would be super cute. I don't think I have, out of all the punches that I have, I probably don't even have a grass punch. Can you believe that? But I just like this one. It's a cute little shell scallopy one. So, and then once I'm done, I just kind of trim it along the edge. So you see? So now we have that. Could you go all the way around with a punch? You probably could. You probably just need to keep in mind that you're going to have to leave a little bit of edge there. So if you like the fact that it has that little bit of space, because it needs some give. The only thing is that when you do open it all the way, I don't know if that you're going to like the way that looks. So you probably could go all the way around. I don't know if I would, only because I probably wouldn't like that little flaps going, you know, sticking out. But by all means, if you love it, go ahead and do it. I'm sure it'll work perfectly. So I'm just going to show you really quick what I did with the little eggs. And let me see if I find my album again. This little egg in here, you guys see it? It's basically just a scallop punch, right? And all I did was an oval scallop punch, and I cut two. I cut one in white and one in yellow. And then I put a sweet little stamp to make a cute face. You don't have to use a stamp. You can draw in the little face of the chick. So super, super easy. So let me just show you. Okay, so here goes my scallop punch. Nothing fancy, right? I've gone ahead and pre-cut a yellow and a white. And then let's see. I have, let's see, where do we have this? I know I have a little cute little stamp here, so let's use this stamp right here, and we're just gonna go ahead and use our Memento ink for this. So I'll just ink this up really quick. And just put the little eyes. So now we have this cute little face, right? Where did I put this thing now? Okay. So then the next thing I did was literally all I did was I took the white version and I cut a little zigzag border because I want it to look as if the egg is cracked, right? So we have that. Go ahead and ink it up just because, again, I just wanted to have some dimension. I can't even say that it's because I don't want any of the white edges because it's a white piece of paper, right? So what other color edges it's going to have? So then I just use my acid-free glue for this. You probably could use your quick dry as well, but this one works well, so I just use this one. And then we're just going to glue this little part on the bottom. So that's going to be like the little bottom of the egg. And then for this part, you see how it looks too big? I just cut again and just kind of make the top of the egg just a little bit smaller, like that. Again, just ink it a little bit. And then just add a little bit more of the acid-free glue. And in this case, I kind of just put it on an angle. I didn't do anything fancy on here other than so they kind of look like my little chicken was popping out of the egg. And then I know you guys know, but you can color it in with a white gel pen and let's see, and get an orange marker. Let me see if I can find my orange Copic really quick. So just to show you how that works. So just take your orange Copic, color in the little beak, and then we'll just color in the little eyes. So just because you want the pupil to really stick out and have, you know, the white area. And I tend to do everything in circular motion. I don't know why. Maybe it's a Copic technique thing, but it works and it goes by really quick. So now you see we have this cute little chick, and you know, her top of her egg looks like it's really high, but no big deal. You probably could put a cute little bow on her as well. And then this is where I used, no, not that one, my Zap Dots, and these are the 1/2" ones. Yeah, a bow would be really cute. Again, if you're doing a boy version, you don't want to put a bow on it, but if you're doing a girl version, by all means put a bow. So then I just grab one of these little Zap Dots and then put it on the back, pull the little tab off, and then just put it on the front like that. And it just adds a cute little dimension. By all means, put a sentiment, personalize it, put the kid's name, put the year that the photos are from. Just a lot of really fun ways to decorate it. So again, like I said, it's really, really easy, simple assembly. I know it'd probably take us an hour just to get through the whole thing, but it's just because we've been talking. But you can literally make this in just a few minutes. Go to town and cut, I don't know, just cut a bunch of the circles and just clip them up and color them and just have them laying around. I know a lot of times I want to make a last minute project and I haven't had the time to get it going. So how cool would it be if you made a bunch of these and just really solid colors, so your base is like either all reds or all blues or all yellows. You just have them lying around in your, you know, your scrap box, and then you realize, oh my goodness, it's my friend's birthday, or it's my, you know, it's someone's holiday, or it's a holiday, or it's a graduation. Let me just go out and grab one of these box, you know, pre-made minis, and then just add some simple details to it, and it would make a really fun and quick gift to give to someone. So, do you guys have any questions? Night, Melissa. Night, Zenny. I know it's been a crazy day for me. That's why I'm glad that we were able to go through this so quickly. I actually need to go to bed really soon too. So, yes, pics of kids at the park. How cool with that? And instead of using the little chick, you can use the little merry-go-round horse. There's so many ways to make this your own. I actually would love to see what you guys make with this. If you guys decide that you're going to make them, and I know a lot of you are going to make it because it's just a really fun and easy thing to do, post them on my page. I'd love to see how you've made these your own, because again, it's super easy to do, and once you make one, you'll have so much fun. Like I said, making a card is really easy for someone's birthday or for a special occasion, but how easy is this? It's like a really dimensional card where you can personalize it and add some photos or just some really fun quotes that you want to give to your friends. Make it like a little inspirational album. Just really, really, really fun. So yeah, I definitely want to see what you guys make. So if you make something, doesn't have to be today or tomorrow, but whenever you make it, definitely share with me. I love seeing what you guys make. So feel free to post it on my page, and definitely post it on the Helmar page. I'm sure Tracy would love to see them as well. Good night, Melissa. I'm so glad you loved it. Yeah, Dana, way cuter than a card, right? Just a really fun, different thing to do. I know sometimes I get bored of doing the same thing, so this is just a fun way to make just a fun little different project. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Lizzie. Tracy has to go. She was hungry. She's too funny. Yeah, definitely try it small. Try it small to start, and like I said, this is really easy assembly. The scallop is a really easy way to do it, and really simple for. So if you give it as a gift, folks know that they just need to put a photo inside it. Super easy. I'm glad you like this, Cindy and Alicia. But again, if you want to use a 12 by 12 page, just note that it's going to be, you know, about 6 inches tall. So this one is what? Where's my Timmy ruler? This one is 3.5 inches. So that's my circle was actually 7 inches then. Let me see. Or 7.5 inches because it's really 3 3/4. So if you do it, if you do a 12-inch circle, then your sections are going to be 6 inches, and etc. etc. I'm glad you liked it, Becky. Yes, that would be so sweet, Dana. Oh my goodness. You know what I was thinking? Just to be really fun. Again, a grandma's brag book. How cute would that be? And depending on how many kids you have, you can either make it, you know, all the same kids, or have it be a different grandson or a granddaughter, or even something from, like, you know, her kids. Oh my gosh, how cool would this be for Mother's Day? That would be so much fun. Or for a teacher, to give it to a teacher, and she can have just really fun little quotes from her students, like, you know, this is what we love about you kind of thing. Just super, there's so many ways that you can make this your own. And works perfectly for just anyone. Father's Day, Mother's Day, Grandma's Day, Administrative Assistant's Day. Oh my God, I could think of 100 ways that you can make this your own. Tanya, you're so funny. Just keep in mind that it's a circle, so you probably could add more panels, but they're not going to be very open. So just do the 4, and then kind of take each page for a separate kid. You can always have, you know, these panels be where they write a little note. Just really fun. Here's mine, hours 5. Well, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 panels, right? So 5 kids and you and him, that's 7. So then you have one little panel that's left over for writing. So you can put a picture of mom and dad and a picture of all the kids. You can make it work, Tanya. Trust me. Just send me a note. We'll think about a way to make it work for you. We've got 5 in our house too, so, and if we include the cats and the dogs, that's 8. So I have one panel for each of us in our house. Mom, Dad, the 2 boys, my daughter, the 2 girls, which are, you know, my diva cats, and my boy doggy. So There we go. I'm gonna have to make one myself. Yeah, you definitely need to use Helmar 450 for this. I'm telling you, look, I'm like tugging at it. It's not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna, it's not gonna get warm, and all of a sudden the glue's gonna get all gooey and fall apart on you. The Helmar 450 is absolutely awesome. It's the only thing I'll ever use on my mini albums. I'm embarrassed to probably show you an album that I did previously, but I put some really fun stuff on it, and I used like double-sided tape on it. And because it's so warm in Texas, everything's falling off. It's just horrible, horrible. So this is the way to go with mini albums. Helmar 450 and acid-free glue. They're not very expensive. They last a long, long time, especially the professional acid-free glue. Oh my goodness, I've had this one forever. It's the only one I've ever used, and if I tell you, there's probably about more than 3/4 of the way full, because like I said, you guys notice how he's using it. I put the tip right on my table, so you see, like literally as if I'm dropping the bottle. It's just standing straight on the table, and I just kind of let it ooze out, and in a circular motion I just kind of rub the glue in. Works perfectly. I found that technique works really, really well, and it makes me not waste a lot of glue. So, and then again, this super awesome for anything that has dimension and layers and you want to dry really quick. Perfect for making your own flowers, perfect on fabric. It's also waterproof, so machine washable, so if you need to glue something and you're making a shirt, perfect. It's just really good stuff. There's just a couple of things that you don't want to really skimp on. Glue is one of those things, because I mean, how horrible it is to make a really fun project and then all of a sudden, oh my goodness, it fell apart on me. How embarrassing that I gave this to someone and they got it in the mail because it was so warm in transit. All of the embellishments have fallen off, and that's kind of the way the where's that thing? Let me see if I can find it. The scrap dots work. Next time I do a project, I'll show you guys this, but it's just a really fun dimensional product. I probably could have used it to put some dimension underneath my little chick, but I find that it works awesome with metal and anything that's kind of porous, like shells and grasses and that kind of stuff. Just really, really awesome. And a lot of times I don't even use it for dimension. I use it really, truly just for adhesion, because I feel that it just is the perfect adhesion for a lot of those types of embellishments that you can't find the perfect glue for. This is it. If you're looking to glue something and you can't for some strange reason get it to stay on your project, this is what you need to try, because it will definitely work. So these are 3 must-haves in my scrap room for sure. Like I said, I'm more of a liquid adhesion kind of person. I don't really like the tapes because, like I said, heat and tapes don't work with me. So this is really the way to go in my household. And of course, Helmar also has, what are these? The gemstone glues. And I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of times if you use any kind of funky glues on your projects, depending the kind of glue you put behind your gemstones, it can actually eat up the metallic fibers of the back, and then you won't even have a rhinestone anymore. So this works perfectly for gluing your gemstones. And again, this is it's washable. You can put it on glass. It's perfect for pearls. It's perfect for Swarovski crystals. So this is really awesome too. And then if you want something that is it's kind of like the 450, but it's not as quick drying, but works just as well, the craft glue. Perfect for laces, trims, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, like I said, I am a big lover of liquid adhesives, so I use them all the time, and I keep them right next to my desk so that I can have them. No pressure, Tanya, but I'm telling you, if you really, I find that glues are really, really important. So because you can be as creative as you want, but if you don't have the perfect tools, it just doesn't work. Like again, my scissors, these are probably the only ones that I will ever use. They're Westcott's, and because they're non-stick, they work perfect with my my Helmar adhesives. So I always have these by me. I just have them like different sizes. So see, they actually have glue all over them right now, but you see they work perfectly, and I can cut my ribbons seamlessly. So It's just a beautiful thing. Yeah, this is just a sweet, sweet little scissor. So, all right, guys. So, I'm just gonna wrap up right now. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you guys have any questions, definitely stop by the Helmar site to check them out. If you have any questions about any of the products, by all means, send me a note. And stay tuned this week because I know Tracy said that there's a lot of really fun stuff that's coming your way. I think there's a lot of announcements that are happening this week. I know I'm excited to see who's going to be on the design team and when that's going to be announced. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. So stay tuned for that. I'll definitely post it on my pages as soon as I see it. So I'll make you guys aware as well. So, and I'm glad that you guys really loved it. I'll probably make a little quick YouTube video so you guys, the guys that didn't see it, can see it well again, just as a quick technique video. But I hope that this class wasn't too long so you guys can rewatch it as well. So thanks for joining.